Hey guys, it's Matt with Houston Kung Fu Cha. On today's video, we're going to be diving into what a beginner would need, or what you would need to just try some teas for the first time if you're not very used to brewing in I guess Kung Fu method. This is a very practical video. It's going to be pretty quick, so let's dive in. First, you're going to want to probably get a Gaiwan. I always recommend Gaiwans for people that are brand new to tea, or if you've never. Yeah, really, honestly, if you're just brand new to tea, it's very easy. If you want to learn how to use the Gaiwan, my water's not very heated up right now, and this is your water bowl. You always want to have your wastewater bowl, so you can just give it the water instead of standing up and moving around. Water's not very hot. I just pour it in. You want to practice a little bit. So I pour my water in about halfway right off the bat. So a few ways you can hold it. I really prefer this. I kind of reach under with my fingers like this. The lid's already kind of tilted. There's a little bitty hole right there. And I just hold it. So right now it's nice and snug, nothing too crazy, and I just tip it over. Very easy, okay? Now, another method you can do to kind of do this, same thing, and again, I'm just practicing. I always encourage people to practice. If you're not used to using a Gaiwan, don't use it while you're, don't use it the first time while you're practicing with tea. It's wasteful. Now I've filled it up a little bit higher. You can kind of see, if I move this around too much, I'm going to spill it, but it's pretty high. And with leaves, you're going to get pretty high like that. You might even go all the way to the rim. Once I put my lid in, I know I'm going to pour it here. I put my lid in sideways, just like this. Boom. There's a pretty big hole right now. I'm using that because there's no leaves in it, so I don't have to worry about dropping any leaves out. Again, this is my preferred method. I grab it, hold it, I got a pretty good grip on it, and then you go quickly. 1, 2. Nice and smooth, all the way upside down, water's all gone. Another method people really like to do, last one, I pour my water in. Again, if you're just practicing, pour however you feel like you need to. Pour as much water in, pour as little water in until you feel comfortable with what you're doing. It's not fun burning yourself. Right now, I put this back in just like that. I'm going to put my knuckle on my pointer finger. I put the knuckle right there. Easy, flip. That's how I used to always do it. I prefer the other way because I burned myself too many times. It's again, it's 100% preference. That is how you start the thing. Got it? Good. Next. Say it real fast, and I'm going to explain all that one more time very easily, very quickly. Okay. Something I always recommend is a scale. It's nice to have a scale. It's like 10 bucks on Amazon. Very cheap, very smart way to weigh your tea and make sure that you're using the correct amount of grams. And you can look all this stuff up online. Don't just take my word for it. Look it up. I already have it weighed out, but we're going to pretend I don't have it weighed out. And we'll just flip this sucker over. Boom, fantastic. So, I put my Gaiwan on it. I press on. My scale comes on. It's already at 0. It's already been negated. So this is negated off. It's already at 0. Now I put my leaves in. Boom. It says 11 grams. It's really not. It's at around 6 grams. Okay. After they're wet, obviously they're heavier. It's already weighed out. I don't need this anymore. Put it back down. Now that I have my leaves, I make sure I have one of these. This is a fair cup, a chahi, a beaker, whatever you want to call it. A chahi, whatever the hell. Get whatever you want. You can get a measuring cup. You can get a bowl. You can get anything. A water cup. Anything you want. I like a beaker because it has all your milliliters on the side of it, so I can exactly put how many milliliters. This is a 150 milliliter Gaiwan, so I can kind of put that to test and make sure that it's still the same here. Obviously, with the leaves in it, you're going to lose a lot of the milliliters. There's not going to be 150 milliliters in liquid here. It's going to end up being like 120, 130, maybe even less sometimes. Okay. I have that, and then I have a cup. I prefer porcelain. This is nice. It's not a nothing too special. It's just a nice little porcelain cup. And it's white, so I can see the liquid very good. Grab my water. The water's not very hot, but we're just going to do a rinse. And keep in mind, the leaves should be dry right now. This is a 2019 spring morning from Yunnan Sourcing. I put the water in. I put my lid on. I lift it up like this. Pour it in. Again, this would normally be the very first rinse. It's not the first rinse because we messed that part of the video up. So we'll keep it going now. You don't drink the first one. You give it away. Okay, put it into your water bowl. This is my water waste bowl. Make sure you have one. This is also a nice little thing to have. If you don't have this, what I used to do all the time is after I finish my water, I would cut this in about half and put that on the table. Very easy, very cheap. I really prefer if you use real water. If your tap water is awesome, good for you. It's not good for me, so I don't use it. Now we're moving on to the very first steep. The very first one is just a rinse. Now we're on the actual steep. Pour your water onto the leaves or over the leaves. Fill it up almost to the top or to the top if you're feeling brave. Okay, right there to the top. If I want to make sure I don't burn myself, use my lid. Come in from the side. Catch it. Now the reason I like to hold the way I do is because if I fill it all the way up like this, I just get my fingers underneath, hold it. I have not burned myself yet. I pour it in. Notice I'm not waiting very long for the steeps. These are pretty quick. I mean, 10 to 20 seconds, and kind of play with it. It's got to be your own preference. You're going to notice if tea tastes too bitter. You're going to notice if it tastes not right. Adjust, okay? This is a nice color, especially for something so young. This is a 2019 raw. It's actually a Huang Pian, which is a yellow flake. It's, some of the not so pretty leaves get left behind, so we make cakes out of it. You can get a really good deal. You can get really good bargains on Huang Pian. Yellow flake, raw pour, okay? It's also shu pour or ripe pour, fermented pour. My cup is about halfway full. I don't fill it to the rim. If you fill it to the rim, especially when you're serving people, it can be almost seen as a sign of disrespect because you're training. You're basically going to burn them. This is nice. It's not too bad. Take your sip. Fantastic. Again, keep this going for a little while. It's pretty easy. So we showed you how to kind of hold the Gaiwan, how to use it, especially if you've never used it. Why you should have a Gaiwan. These guys are porcelain. They don't, like, there's no tea that stays in there. There's no residue after you've used this Gaiwan 50 times, 100 times. As long as you're cleaning it thoroughly, you're not going to have any. So if I brew a black tea in here, it's not going to affect my green tea. If I brew a green tea in here, it's not going to affect my black tea. It's not going to mess with my other teas because it's porcelain and because I keep it clean. It's not a porous clay, which is also why I recommend this for beginners or people that are just trying to study the leaf, okay? If you're trying to make this something that you actually use for a practice, for some sort of purpose, other than just chugging down caffeine like you would do some coffee. I love coffee, by the way, but not today. This is the thing I would use, okay? Gaiwans are awesome. 150 milliliters is a great starting point. Even smaller is not bad either. This is great. You need a fair cup, especially if you're going to serve other people. If you look, it's got the milliliters on it. I know you can't really see it from right there, but you got about 100 milliliters, 105 milliliters. This gives you a good idea of exactly how much liquid, how much tea you're making out of your particular 150 milliliter, whatever milliliter thing, okay? Gaiwan, pot, easy Gaiwan, whatever you're going to use. And last, it's always important to have a cup. If you don't have a cup, actually this might be the most important thing. If you don't have a cup, what are you going to drink out of it? I like to pour it about halfway. It makes me kind of take my time and actually enjoy the tea. It's a good way to do it. It's awesome, okay? Last thing, or actually two more things. I like to have a water waste bowl. Again, you can make this out of anything. It's nice to have for the rinses, especially if you're going to sit here and drink a lot of tea. And final, water. Crystal Geyser. This is awesome. Not bad water. It's not like a super high alkaline water. I don't know if people drink that for tea. I don't prefer a high mineral water. It just impacts the flavor a lot. And the fact that I use like a cast iron tetsubin, it kind of it leaves too much minerals inside, and I just don't like that. Okay. Again, water preference and tea preference and all that's going to be just up to you. It's all preference. Okay. So find what you like. Find something that heats your water, whether it's a kettle on your stove, whether it's like a automatic one that you can just plug in right here and just boom, hit the boil. Awesome. If you have the ability to get something like this, I love this. This is nice. It causes you to slow down and it really enjoys the tea practice. It makes you, it forces you, okay? So that all being said, I hope this is all beneficial for you. Thank you guys very much. This is how you would drink tea as a beginner, how to use a Gaiwan, how to pour it if you're just starting out, or maybe you just need a refresher, okay? That's kind of what we're going over today. Look forward, I'm going to have a few more videos coming out soon, hopefully shorter ones like this. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I hope to see you soon. Later.